Something happened to you today. Maybe it was a word, a look, a situation that made absolutely no sense. And before you could think about it, before you could decide whether it was appropriate, your body took over. Your chest tightened. Air pushed out of your lungs in short, rapid bursts. Your face contorted into something you didn't choose. You laughed, and you have no idea why. That moment you just remembered, that involuntary, unstoppable, sometimes embarrassing burst, is one of the most ancient things your body still does. And the real reason it happens has almost nothing to do with something being funny. Humor is a recent invention. Laughter is not. Your brain has been producing laughter for far longer than language has existed, far longer than jokes, far longer than comedy, irony, sarcasm, or wit. And when you trace it all the way back through the fossil record, through primate behavior, through neurological research, you find something that changes how you understand every laugh you've ever made. Laughter is a social signal. It always has been. It is not a response to humor. Humor is just one of the many things that can trigger it. Robert Provine spent decades studying laughter in his work at the University of Maryland. He and his team recorded thousands of hours of natural conversation, cataloging every moment laughter appeared. What they found was unexpected. In natural social settings, people laughed after completely ordinary, non-funny sentences far more often than they laughed after actual jokes. Things like, "I'll see you later," "I know, I was so tired." These sentences preceded laughter constantly, not because they were funny, because laughter is not primarily a humor response. It is a bonding mechanism. Think about that for a moment. You have been laughing your entire life, and most of it has had nothing to do with anything being funny. Provine called this the punctuation effect. Laughter falls at the end of social statements the way a period does. It signals, "I am comfortable here, I am safe with you, I am open." It is a sound your body makes when it is trying to connect, and this is where the story gets ancient. Jacques Panksepp, a neuroscientist whose work on animal emotions reshaped how the field understood the mammalian brain, discovered something extraordinary. Rats laugh, not the way humans laugh. But when you tickle young rats, they produce ultrasonic chirps in the 50 kilohertz range, a frequency completely inaudible to human ears. They seek out the tickling. They prefer being around humans who tickle them. They produce these sounds in play, and the same brain circuitry that generates those chirps in rats, the same ancient neural pathways running through the limbic system, is active when you laugh. Your laugh is millions of years old. It existed before your species did. Great apes laugh too. Chimpanzees, bonobos, gorillas, orangutans, they all produce panting vocalizations during play that share the same rhythm, the same function, the same neurological origin as human laughter. Franz de Waal, the primatologist who spent a career observing primate social behavior, documented laughter in chimps, not just during physical play, but during social reconciliation. After a fight, two chimps would engage in a kind of play wrestling, and laughter would follow. The laughter was not a reaction to something funny. It was a peace signal, a way of saying, the threat is over. We are still together. You do the exact same thing. Think about the last argument you had with someone you care about. Think about the moment the tension broke. It almost certainly broke with laughter. Not because someone said something genuinely hilarious, but because one of you made a small joke and the other person laughed, and that laugh meant something. It meant, "I am still here. I choose you. We are still okay." You were using a chimpanzee's tool. The brain structure responsible for this is not your cortex, not the part of your brain that reads, plans, and processes language. It is older than that, much older. Laughter originates in the subcortical regions, in structures that predate the modern human brain by tens of millions of years. This is why you cannot choose to laugh convincingly. Try it right now. Produce a genuine, full laugh on command. You cannot. What comes out sounds hollow, mechanical, wrong. Your brain knows the difference. Everyone around you knows the difference. Genuine laughter is involuntary because it was never meant to be controlled. It was meant to be a signal that couldn't be faked, a reliable broadcast of your internal social state. This also explains why laughter is contagious. When you hear someone else laugh, your motor cortex activates. Your body begins preparing to laugh before you even consciously process what's happening. Sophie Scott's neuroimaging research at University College London showed that positive emotional sounds, particularly laughter, activate the premotor cortical regions far more powerfully than negative sounds. Your brain hears laughter and immediately starts mimicking it. Not because the joke has been explained to you, because your ancient circuitry reads it as a signal. Someone nearby is safe, someone nearby is bonding, and you should join. Laughter is contagious because it was meant to spread. A group that could rapidly synchronize their emotional states, who could signal safety and belonging and openness through a shared involuntary sound, was a group that survived, and then something happened. Humans developed language, and with language came something no other animal has: humor. The ability to construct meaning that deliberately subverts expectation. The ability to take something your brain predicts will go one way and make it go somewhere else entirely. That surprise, that sudden reframing, became a reliable trigger for the ancient laugh mechanism. But it was never the only trigger, and it was never the original one. This is why you laugh at funerals. Not because death is funny, but because your body, under unbearable social stress, reaches for its oldest tool for connection. This is why surgeons and soldiers in extreme conditions develop dark humor that sounds incomprehensible to outsiders. It is not callousness. It is a group of humans using laughter the way their ancestors always have, to signal, I am still here, we are still together, we can survive this. This is why you laugh when you're nervous, when someone catches you off guard, when you make a mistake in front of others. The laugh is not about humor. It is a rapid appeasement signal. It says, I am not a threat. I know I did something wrong. Please do not exclude me. You are doing what primates have done for millions of years when caught in a social miscalculation. Think about laughter and dominance hierarchies. In every group you have ever been part of, school, work, family, the person at the top of the hierarchy made the fewest laughs at other people's jokes and received the most power-shaped laughter. Lower status individuals laugh more at the jokes of higher status individuals, not because the jokes are funnier, but because laughter is a submission signal, a way of saying, I acknowledge your position. I want to stay in your group. You have been performing social calculations every time you laughed, and you never noticed. So the next time something makes you laugh, really stop and ask what is actually happening. Is something funny? Maybe, but what your body is really doing is far more interesting. It is reaching across millions of years of evolution and doing what it has always done. It is building a bridge between you and another human. It is saying, without words, without thought, without any choice at all, you are safe here. I am with you. We are the same. That laugh you made today, the one that slipped out before you could stop it, the one that might have embarrassed you or surprised you or came at completely the wrong time, that was not a reaction to something amusing. That was your ancient self, still doing its oldest job, still trying to keep you connected to the people around you, still trying to make sure you are never, ever alone. And the funniest part, it was never about being funny at all.